Uh, what's up, everybody? Come on, get in on this live stream video. If you're watching, hopefully this doesn't get interrupted because I'm probably going to be expecting a phone call in a second. So hopefully the live stream doesn't get messed up. If the live stream somehow gets interrupted, I'll restart this live stream all over again and we'll talk about it. So get on in here. Let's talk about this. I'm super excited because this was an absolute awesome, great movie. Um, man, man, was this a great movie. Hello to everyone who's watching. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time being on the channel, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Share it to your friends and family and everything else as well. Anyway, guys, let's talk Godzilla, King of Monsters. Man, was this movie awesome. Absolutely awesome. I don't even know where to begin. I love the fact that when it first started off, you get like you get a rolling credits, the beginning credits, and they show you about all these things that's going on with Skull Island. You get reference of King Kong. You get references of all these other kaijus that are all around the world that are appearing. And man, it gets real explosive. Like the movie, it starts off a little slow, but then it really moves on to something pretty awesome. Like the storytelling, the character development is awesome. And man, like all of the characters in this movie, they all played a key role. Like there was no like side token character that didn't really do anything. Everyone had a role to play, which was great. So it wasn't like anybody was just there to be there in the film. Everyone had a role. I love the special effects. I loved the interactions between the kaijus or the titans, or whichever you would like to call them. And man, Godzilla in this movie, he is the Godzilla we all know and love. Even the fact that they had the original theme, the original Toho Godzilla theme, you know, the dun 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 dun. Like they had the music, like I mean, it was awesome. Like Godzilla was the GOAT in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like he was, his design is a tad little bit different, but he is the same Godzilla from the 2014 movie. So basically, you know, a couple years have passed, whatever, and I think they said 5 years passed since Godzilla was sighted, and he went into hiding or something like that. But Monarch have been keeping tabs on him to see where he is. So the scientist, I forgot her name, but the scientist in the movie, she basically is supposed to be helping to find a way, like an alpha signal, an alpha sound to control the other Titans to wake them up. Well, apparently she is a twist behind the movie. She's working for the bad guys, who's just like this terrorist. I forgot the actor's name, but he played in what's the movie with Luke Evans? Dracula. He was the original Dracula that was in the cave. And remember when Luke Evans went when Count Dracula went in there, and then he got bitten by the guy that gave him the powers. He's the guy that's in the movie. If you look in the trailers, the guy that says "Long live the King," him. He's actually a terrorist in the movie. Well, she turns out the scientist, the mother, was supposed to be working for the good guys, the government, trying to figure out how to, you know, turn these things around, trying to turn the tables on the Titans. But turns out she goes working with the terrorists to wake up all these Titans, to save the world, saying that humans are the extension to the world, that humans will eventually destroy the earth. And technically, I kind of believe that. We are our own demise. So she thinks that these Titans are a fever or a virus to counteract. It's like a planetary defense to keep everything in order. and Godzilla is the apex predator. He's supposed to be the king of the monsters, which is why all the other kaiju's and monsters respect him, because he's just that badass. He is the guy. He's the king. And what ends up happening is that um, one of the, I don't know exactly how to say it, but one of the kaiju's gets released, which is Mothra. She somehow hatches from her egg, and when she hatches from her egg, it awakens other monsters as well. And what happens is she uses this bite called the Orca. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the Orca. I don't know how you pronounce it or spell it. I think it's Orka, the Orca. She used the Orca as it's like this beacon that sends out the alpha apex signal to get these monsters, because it listens to one alpha. And she secretly somehow found the way to control these titans, these monsters. So what ends up happening is when her and the terrorists get together, she also has a daughter, and her dad is like, he retired from Monarch years ago because they lost their son, and he somehow winds back up in the fight in the picture. And what ends up happening is these two get together, the mom and the dad. They find each other again, but they wake up King Ghidorah. Yes, King Ghidorah. They wake him up. He's actually frozen in ice, and they kept him frozen on ice for a reason. And turns out that later on in the movie, they found out that King Ghidorah, just like in the original movies, King Ghidorah is not from this planet. He's actually an alien from a whole nother planet. So there is an ancient world civilization or something from in another world that has species like King Ghidorah. And in the legends, they say that it is known as the Hydra. It's known as the dragon, like the one true dragon. Like it's crazy how they came up with the mythological reasonings behind the monsters and everything, and the origins and stuff is great. It's pretty awesome. So what ends up happening is like the action, man. The action is great. Like they're all fighting each other. You got Godzilla fighting Ghidorah. You got Rodan fighting Mothra, and like all these kaiju's are being awakened all over the world. And the woman, the scientist, the lady woman, she is apparently she's getting blamed by her daughter, her husband, the government for allowing these monsters to be awakened and causing all these damages and devastation. And the world is basically screwing up. It's getting blown to bits. So the guy over Monarch, the Asian guy, or Japanese guy, whichever guy, the Asian guy, he sacrifices himself because Godzilla gets his ass whooped by Ghidorah. Like in the first match, he got his ass whooped. Like Godzilla whooped his ass, and Ghidorah whooped his ass, and then Godzilla whooped his ass one more time, and then Godzilla had to go in hibernation, and everyone didn't know where the hell he went. They found out he went back to the Earth is actually hollow. So he went through vortexes and tunnels, and there's this underwater world, a hollow world that no one knew about, where he is. The Titans were actually the first gods. They were the first gods. Like not like we ain't talking about Zeus. We ain't talking about Amun Ra. We ain't talking about like all these other like Odin and the rest of them. Like no, like the Titans were the first gods. And he goes back to his ancient civilization somewhere deep within the hollow earth. It's like a vortex, these air sockets. And the scientist, the Asian guy, goes and sacrifices themselves with a nuclear bomb to revive Godzilla because they killed Godzilla and Ghidorah. They're supposed to kill them. And Godzilla was basically dying, but he went into hibernation to try to regenerate himself. And then you have Ghidorah. Ghidorah was supposed to be dead. He lost a head, but he grew his head back like a Hydra, and that was their only chance. So Godzilla was basically pronounced dead at the time, and they have nobody. So he sacrificed himself. He revives Godzilla. Godzilla's like jacked up, juiced up, like he's all muscular and everything. He looks a little different from how he did before. Like he was really on some extra. He was on some extra shit. Like Godzilla was ready to pretty much mess some shit up. So he goes and fights King Ghidorah, and they having this big all-out fight. And I mean, they're clashing and bamming, and explosives all over the place. And you got Ghidorah screaming at Godzilla with his battle cry that, "Ah!" Yeah, like doing all that crazy stuff. Like it was, I'm telling you, it was pretty freaking awesome, man. And the final battle is between Godzilla and Ghidorah and Mothra and Rodan. Mothra ends up killing Rodan, but she injures him where he's almost mortally wounded. But somehow he came back out of that wound. I guess he healed himself. Mothra dies trying to save Godzilla, and she uses her power to restore him and turns him into burning Godzilla. And he comes back after getting knocked out. He comes back and he has this his body is like all engulfed in flames. Like you can see the inner workings of his body being engulfed with flames, and he uses his nuclear burning sonic like blast. Like he doesn't use his mouth anymore. It's like it's this energy that radiates from his body, and it boom, like it bursts out, and it basically kills Ghidorah. And he bites off Ghidorah's head again for the second time, and he's swinging his head around, and he blasts he did his atomic blast out of his mouth and blew his head off. So that's basically how the movie goes. Just more stuff that deal with the movie, but I don't want to spoil all that. I just want to give away some of the spoilers. Now here's the best thing about it. At the very end of the movie, they make a reference to King Kong, saying that they are other titans, there are other kings available around the world, well, not available, that are emerging around the world. And Kong is one of them. And we actually get a scene of Kong walking through the jungle with them talking about these other titans. So it sets up King Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus King Kong, however they're going to call it. Maybe they'll call it Battle of the Throne, or To Be King, or something like that. Whatever they'll call it, I don't know. But it's probably they'll probably keep it simple ways like Kong versus Godzilla. And so what ends up happening is at the very end, the terrorists, this guy leads them down to this facility where they find the head of Ghidorah. And when they find the head of Ghidorah, he says, "We'll take it." The terrorist, the bad guy. So my guess is he's going to take the head. He's going to do something with it. He's probably going to regenerate King Ghidorah, or make Mecha Ghidorah, which is the metal version, the robot version, and the head, the actual heads of Ghidorah. They're probably going to do that as well. They're going to do something, or they might make what's the kaiju, the monster? I think it's Destroyer or Destroy, whatever the name is. I forgot. But man, this movie was so. It paid so much tribute to the original Toho movies, and the origins and everything like that, dealing with these monsters and these kaijus. Like, man, like this is great. Like, this is, like, I really hope they're going to be like, 4 more Godzilla movies after this, just to have like 2 trilogies. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep the movie going. Like, I really hope that there will be like 4 more movies out of this. That would be a total of 6 movies. I think that'd be great. And man, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. If you haven't seen the movie, make sure you go see it. You will not be disappointed. It's absolutely great. It's awesome. It's probably the best Godzilla movie you will ever see in your whole entire life. Like, the originals and all the other ones were great, during that time. But this, with the technology and everything we have now, this movie was absolutely great. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this movie at 8.5. I honestly believe there could be just a little bit more action in it at the end, but it was great. And for the fact that it was 2 hours long, I think it did great. I think it did an awesome awesome job. I think the box office numbers are going to be great over the week, maybe over the month, just to see how it does. It's not going to be Avengers Endgame. It's not going to be any other top tier movies, but it's definitely going to rack in some money, and I think it did a great job. So anyway, guys, if you like what you saw, make sure you smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and please, please, please head on over to my secondary channel, which is the official 803 TV, where I talk about everything pop cultural reference and a little bit of everything else that you guys might like. So if you guys like Marvel, if you guys like DC, if you guys like The Walking Dead, if you guys like anime like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and Boruto, all that type of stuff, I talk about it. So head on over to that channel. I'll leave it down in the descriptions. If it's not on this video, it will be in. But anyway, guys, I guess we had like some technical difficulties there. But anyway, guys, make sure you go over and subscribe to the channel. I highly appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Mo Sixanity. This is another episode of The Heroes Vote, and I will catch y'all guys on the flip side. Peace.